I'm going to share with you out of this Black's Law Dictionary, Revised 4th edition, some definitions and discussions in regards to liberty. And we talk about that all the time here in the home of philosophical radicalism, where freedom is popular. There's a reason why we focus our attention on freedom, not so much as liberty. We'll find out a little bit about that. Liberty, defined in law from the Black's Law Dictionary here. Freedom, liberty is freedom. It's an exemption from extraneous control. Of course, the rest of the story belies that. Freedom from all restraints except such as are justly imposed by law. The founders had a different idea in mind, even though they used the term life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They had something quite a bit different in mind in the Declaration, where they said these words. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitles them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed with their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Well, this idea of being endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, certainly, even though we know the language of trust a little bit on this broadcast, it doesn't imply that it's conditional. It says unalienable. They were endowed by the Creator, not by the state. But that doesn't seem to be the definition of liberty here according to the Black's Law Dictionary. It says it is freedom, but it's freedom from all restraints except such as are justly imposed by law. So when you start out in perfect, pure, powerful freedom, endowed by the Creator of the universe with life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, etc., but then liberty basically is little more than freedom, speaking analogously, freedom wearing a dog collar with somebody else holding the other end of the leash, and so you've kind of got limited freedoms. It's except such as are justly imposed by law. Look at liberties. Liberties, privileged districts, exempt from the sheriff's jurisdiction as gaol liberties. You ever been in jail? You get to go out in the yard, you're at liberty. You can walk around maybe, smoke a cigarette if you can bum one. Get a little sunshine on your face. But you never get outside of the box. You've got to go back into the box when they tell you to. In colonial times, laws or legal rights resting upon them. Laws or legal rights resting upon them. The early colonial ordinances in Massachusetts were termed laws and liberties. When you're in the military, you can have shore leave and you can go ashore. You're on liberty. But of course, there's a curfew, a time when you need to be back on the boat. There are only certain things that you can do. Visiting the whorehouse is not included, perhaps. Or perhaps it would be. Formerly political subdivisions of Philadelphia as the Northern Liberties. Liberties referred to in statute concerning indecent liberties with female child are such as common sense of society would regard as indecent and improper, taking liberty with a infant child. There's more to it. It's the power of the will to follow the dictates of the unrestricted choice and to direct the external acts of the individual without restraint, coercion, or control from other persons. The word liberty includes and comprehends all personal rights and their enjoyment. These are all cases that are in here. Lots of different ones. The word liberty, as used in the state and federal constitutions, means, in a negative sense, freedom from restraint. But in a positive sense, it involves the idea of freedom secured by the imposition of restraint. And it is in this positive sense that the state, in the exercise of its police powers, promotes the freedom of all by the imposition upon particular persons of restraints which are deemed necessary for the general welfare. There's that general welfare clause again. The greatest good of the greatest number. Liberty, insofar as it is noticed by government, is restraint rather than license. We spoke a little bit about license on Friday, I think. It is a yielding of the individual will to that of the many, being subsumed under the collective. It's the end of the individual, the beginning of the collective. Right? Yielding to the greatest good of the greatest number. Continuing a little bit further here, the personal liberty guaranteed by the Constitution in the power of locomotion without imprisonment or restraint unless by due course of law, except those restraints imposed to prevent commission of a threatened crime or in punishment of crime committed. Key phrase there is locomotion. That goes back to Blackstone's commentaries. Well, we'll continue this a bit further on the other side. Stay tuned.